Okay, y'all, I had to make sure I wasn't cutting my head off. What's good? It's your girl, Twitch Charles, aka Killer Queen T. I know y'all hear it. I sound like I lost my voice. Y'all know what's popping. Y'all know what's cracking. I didn't know. According to my voice, I should not be making this video. That's what was popping. That's not what's popping, Twitch. You said you would make a video every day. But y'all see, when it's a possibility that I might not do my video, and then somebody else might do my video, then, you know, your girl be trying to not make somebody else do her motherfucking video, you know? She want to do her own video. She wanna pop up to the scene. She didn't wake up this morning, you know? Somebody else woke up. We're getting closer to Monday. She nervous. But moving on. I'm sure I can do this just fine. You're like, please stop. Okay. Let me take a look. Okay, so kid book. Not gender orientated, not female, not male, just a kid book. You know what I'm saying? Finally. Something where all the kids could come. Flock. Nah. Monetize me, your kids is here. Because I don't need them over there on videos that ain't supposed to be on, where I'm hard cussing, I'm hard speaking. Because those videos is yellow marking. I don't need them to turn to red marks because y'all got your kids over there. I know you heard of me, Rich Mitch. I'm hiding right now in the rich royal palace in New York City. I'm afraid to show my face. I'm afraid I'll be recognized. Maybe I'll hide out for the rest of my life. I'm only 11. When I was playing Mitchell Dartmouth, I won $250,000 in the Dazzle Razzle sweepstakes. So far, so good. After taxes, I was down to $135,000. After the set of 4 personalized swans my mother bought for our front yard was paid for, I was down to $134,702. Then came my father's snazzy wardrobe, my mother's oil painting of various vegetables, my big sister's Linda's addiction to $50 haircuts, my expensive present for my best friend Rosanna Rich, imported parrot food for my pet Dumb Dennis, and legal fees to Blake Raymond's 5, who charged $120 an hour. I ended up with $68,305.19. I also ended up being famous. People call me the famous lucky kid, Rich Mitch. That was okay for a while, until the stampede started. The stampede of people. Who were they after? Me, lucky me. I wasn't thinking about stampedes the day my mother took me to the photograph studio. She said she wanted some new photographs of me. I don't like having my picture taken. I know you're like, what the fuck, squeeze? I thought I didn't put the top back on it. But my mother said I'd be happy to have the picture to look at 20 years from now, when I'm 31 years old. My mother also had another reason. A secret reason that will eventually cause millions of people to be in hot pursuit of Rich Mitch. What's something expensive, my mother said, as I got dressed for our photo session. If I had a choice, my parents had Fancy Tailor make me a blazer with gold buttons and wool pins. They bought me a silk necktie, a silk shirt, and shoes with golden buckles. Do you know how hard it is to find shoes with golden buckles for boys? They found them. I plan to lose them. Don't forget to wear your new shoes, my mother said. Shoes? Isn't this going to be a face picture? No, it'll be all of you. It should have made me suspicious to need new shoes for a picture in a photo studio. My friends have these face and shoulder poses, and that's it. Who needs new shoes? When I'm 31 years old, why would I want to see the shoes I wore when I was 11? My mother expected me when I was through dressing. I don't know if you look sufficiently rich. Sufficiently rich, I asked. I said, I just want to look like me. That too, said my mother. She called to my father. He came in and looked me over. Not rich enough, he said. Isn't that supposed to be a customized haircut? Armeni's best, said my mother. $60. He raised his prices. Now my father was actually circling me. I don't like him from the back, he said. It's not a worthy back view. I agree, my mom said. He must equally rich, front and back. I was getting confused. Okay, maybe they wanted a picture with my shoes showing. But the back of me? Who goes to a photographer to get a picture taken from the back? Look, I said, if this is a show-off picture, what happens if I'm poor when I'm 31 and I have this rich-looking picture of myself at 11? I think I did something wrong, that I became stupid from age 11 on and lost all my money. My parents weren't listening. They were both circling me. Then my mother bent down and looked at the top of my head. The view from here could be better. My father joined her, agreed. I said, I've got news for you. A photographer is not going to take a picture looking down at the top of my head. You think he's going to bend over like you two and shoot a picture just at the top of my head? Mom and Dad answered together, yes. I don't like to say anything, but the photographer you picked is out of his head. I don't want to go to any nutty photographer. I started taking off my jacket. Stop, ordered my mother, and she started to take off her jacket. My mother has this habit of taking off her clothes when she gets excited. It can get embarrassing in public. Please, Mitchell, Dad said. We didn't pick this photographer. Someone picked him for us. He's tops in his field. You'll be happy you had your picture taken. I promise you will. Why? You'll see. Mom and Dad started to fool around with my hair. I gave up and let them. The sooner they fixed me up the way they wanted, the sooner I get to the photographer and he'll take his dumb pictures and it will be all over. I was wrong. Instead of something being over with, the photo taking was just the beginning of millions of people trying to get rich, Mitch. I don't know why you didn't see that. Your moms and your dad got problems. His moms and his dad got problems. But I should be able to do 2 chapters. Y'all, you got to give your girl an award. Reading like I read. I read fast. I just read. Besides the little stutter in my voice, I'm not sick. So don't think that. I hope you don't think that. You think I'm sick? I might be sick in the head. Not sick in not sick in the body. The body is perfectly happy. Happy, healthy, happy, joy. Are you singing a gospel? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to see if I want to. No, I'm not going. But let me see. Yeah. It's a short book. I low-key can do like 2 more chapters at this point. Okay. You know what? I'm doing chapter 2 and 3. The photographer was a show business photographer in New York City. We live in the suburb of the city, and there are several photographers in town. But we went all the way into New York to get this guy who had this big shiny picture of celebrities on his wall. Did they make me a celebrity? Would the top of my head go up on his wall? My shoes with the gold buckles? The photographer, Jean Paul, and his 2 lady assistants all looked like they were in show business. They were wearing... That should have been sad. They were wearing clothes, and they had jewelry in their ears. The studio was full of bright lights and white umbrellas and heavy wires snaking all over the place. I figured that this was an expensive deal, but I also figured that my parents weren't paying for the pictures. Jean Paul said something about a Bucky Glizzer arranging this. Who was Bucky Glizzer? I didn't much care. After I won the sweepstakes, I got a free haircut, free clothes, and some other free things. I was used to free. Mom apologized for the appearance of the top of my head and for my really terribly average-looking back view. Jean Paul circled me while he drank coffee. Well, at least he doesn't object property. I'm certainly relieved to hear that, said Mom. Good. That probably meant that she'll be keeping all her clothes on. On the other hand, said Jean Paul, he's bordering on middle class. What do you mean? Mom asked as she fiddled with her belt. Jean Paul sipped his coffee and stared at me. It means essentially that when one looks at Mitch, one thinks of a modest little house on a small plot of land, clothes bought at an after Christmas sale, respectable but plain food on the table. Very, very middle, you know. We're in trouble, my mom said, unfastening her belt. But of course not, said Jean Paul. And he beckoned us to a small room. There were lots of mirrors in the room, and a table and a chair. There was a bunch of stuff on the table, combs, brushes, and makeups. Jean Paul picked up a brush and started to do things to my hair. You see, he said to Mom, a little sweep to the side, and voila. The modest little house on a small plot of land is gone. This is a mansion look. Mom nodded. The mansion look, she repeated. Jean Paul took a powder puff from a box on the table. He was going to puff me. No, I said. That's for girls. I don't wear makeup. It won't look as if you're wearing makeup, he said. But it will help to create the illusion we want. I don't want an illusion. I want to go home, I said. I went with my friend Roseanne once when she had her picture taken. She just sat down and the photographer there told her to smile. And he tilted her head and he aimed and he went click click a few times. And that was that. She got a nice picture. And her parents put it on the piano in the living room for everyone to see. While I was talking, Jean Paul kept putting makeup on my face. I bet I could sue him for doing that against my will. But I couldn't find out because my lawyer now charges $150 an hour. Mom was smiling. Now I see, she added. The mansion look, definitely. I stared into the mirror. My eyelash seemed dark and thick, and my face was pink and smooth. I hope Mom didn't have any plans for putting my picture on our piano. One of Jean Paul's assistants came to the room and said, "We're ready out here. Come this way, Mitch." I got up and followed her out the room. "Look, what we have for you, Mitch," she said. She pointed to a table that had all my favorite foods on it, including a lot of junk stuff that Mom doesn't let me eat. Mom had followed me out of the room. She was smiling. "It's for you, Mitch. Eat." "I can eat all of this, every last bite," said Jean Paul. "See, I need to see some prices. I know this ain't. I know my mom and my dad ain't paying this, but I still need to see how much all this shit costs, just to see what is this person gonna want for me." "Every last bit," said Jean Paul, aiming his camera at me, "right after we take our pictures. Now think about how this food tastes, Mitch. You want this food? Think greed. Think about having the money to buy everything you want. You're rich. You want everything. Let me see it in your face." "Nothing doing," I said. "Very well," said Jean Paul. "Just look at this food. Just not some. That's not too much to ask, is it?" I looked at the food. I wanted it. Suddenly, Jean Paul started to take my picture. "You got it," he said. "The expression. Marvelous. Marvelous." Jean Paul moved around me like I was a wild animal he was stalking. He took rapid-fire pictures, one after another. He took me sitting down and standing up. For a few shots, he made me stand like I was a tin soldier or something, stiff and straight. Then I had to raise and lower my arms and stand with my legs apart, together and apart. Stupid. He took all kinds of pictures of the back of me and looking down at the top of my head. I was careful not to cover Mitch's 3 freckles with makeup, Jean Paul told Mom as he continues to snap. "Mitch should look human as well as rich." Jean Paul must have taken a couple 100 shots of me. Then he said, "Relax." And he pointed to the table full of food. "Want to eat now?" I felt like they just treated him like a monkey. I don't know if y'all feel that way, but I feel like they just treated my shorty like a monkey. Like, "Oh, you like that food, huh? Take these pictures. We'll feed you." It's cool in the beginning, but then it's like, later on down the line, it's like, this nigga, is he paying me in food? I would have thought that off the bat. "Take off your jacket first, Mitch," my mother warned. "We can easily replace your shirt, but your blazer is something else again." "Yes," said Jean Paul. "That blazer might go to the Smithsonian someday as a genuine artifact of American." I didn't know what he was talking about. I didn't know what this whole dumb picture-taking session was about. I didn't know anything until a week or so later when the lady named Bucky Glaser came to our house with the pictures. Then I found out everything. Chapter 3. We were all sitting around the living room of my house. Me, Mom, Dad, and Lucinda. And my wonderful parrot, Dumb Dennis. My parents had just introduced our guest, Bucky Glaser, to Linda and me. She was wearing a blue dress, blue shoes, and a blue hat. She was carrying a big blue pocketbook. She either didn't want to be noticed at all, or she wanted to be noticed very much. It was hard to tell. Bucky Glaser hugged me as if I were a relative or something. "Mitchell Dartmouth, in person," she said. Linda kind of sneered. Linda doesn't mind me being rich, but she's kind of a wise guy about everything that goes with it. "I know it happened some time ago, but do let me congratulate you on winning $250,000, Mitchell." "Oh, well, thanks," I said, "but I only got $68,305.19 left." "Mistake. I'm not supposed to tell strangers about my financial situation." I looked at my parents. They seemed pleased. Bucky Glaser sat down. "I'm so glad you brought that up, Mitchell," she said. "I think it's a shame that you can't keep every cent you want and watch it grow. And Mitchell, That brings me to the purpose of this little visit. She kept saying Mitchell, as if she knew me. She crossed a blue leg over another blue leg. Her stockings were blue too. She went on. Mitchell, I work for Tech Toys, a very large toy company. And we'll be happy to know, and you'll be happy to know that we've been observing everything that has happened to you since you won the Dazzle Ramen sweepstakes. I wasn't happy to know that. We concluded that she was extremely merchantable. Merchantable? Is that a word? Asked Lucinda. No matter. We use it on special occasions in our company. When we find something or someone capable of capturing the hearts and minds of the public. My parents were smiling. His parents are seeming like gold diggers. That's what I'm getting from his parents. Like, let the kid be a kid. You out here trying to get rich off your damn kid. What? Why? You, Mitch, are one of those rare commodities. I'm a commodity? Well, a person in this case, of course. At any rate, that rare something that people all over the country will respond to. Money, said Lucinda. Yes and no, said Bucky Glaser. Now, she was looking straight at me. Mitchell, the public thinks you're lucky. You entered a contest and won against overwhelming odds. The odds of winning were 1 in 19,265. I said, fantastic. Against odds like that, you won. Everyone wants to be a winner. But it happened to you. You're lucky and you're rich. That's an unbeatable combination. Well, maybe, I said. But there are other things that are important, like, I know, family, right, good friends, right? Bucky Glaser had all the answers. That made me nervous. Mitch, you people want to be like you. They want to identify with you. They want to have a part of you. Mitch could sell locks of his hair, said Linda. Is that what you're getting at? I want a horse. And if we sell Mitch's hair or something, well, it gets swept up after his haircut's and thrown away. Lucinda was serious. She stops being a wise guy every time she smells a chance to get money to buy a horse. She wants to be a veterinarian someday. Good. We're all one mind and moving close to our common goal, said Bucky. Really? I guess money. It's the common goal. But we won't have to sell Mitch's hair. I'm not moving toward any goal, I said. I don't understand any of this. Well, Mitchell, remember when you had your picture taken? I could forget. Bucky took a large envelope from her pocketbook. These are the pictures. We needed a likeness of you from every possible angle. Why? My mother spoke up. We are saving the news as a surprise, she said, as she took off her shoe and an earring. And here it is. Mitchell, dear, you're going to be a doll. I would not agree to this shit. I'm read one more chapter for y'all, because it's actually pretty fucking good. How could they make so many dolls so fast? Bucky Glaser's company must have doll-making factories, or grandmas on farms, or convicts in prison making dolls nonstop. Must be. All I know is that one day they sprung the doll surprise on me, and it seemed like almost the next day when there were hundreds of dolls ready to be sold. The dolls were called Rich Mitch, and they had a slogan, be lucky, get rich Mitch. At first they were going to have the slogan, be lucky, get rich Mitch, quick. But they took a survey, and people had trouble saying that one. The doll was dressed in a blazer with golden buttons, a white shirt, a tie, pants, stockings, and shoes with gold buckles. And Sarah was parted with a sweep towards the sides. But that's not all. The doll came with stuff attached to his wrist. A bank book, 2 stock certificates, a deed to a mansion, and an airplane ticket for a trip around the world. They were all phony, of course. I didn't want to be a doll. It's hard to explain how very much I didn't want to be a doll. A greedy-looking one of any kind. The Mitch Rich doll looked greedy. It wanted everything. You could see it in his face. What if my friend saw it? What if it turned up in a yard sale when I was 50 years old? I could be teased forever. But my parents were thrilled with the idea. They was told them digits in their eyes said, ching, ching. Lucinda seeing a horse in her miniature future was thrilled, too. This doll could fail, couldn't it? It could be a big flop, I said right after my mother broke the news to me. It's possible that it could flop before it even got going. I'm afraid that's true. Oh, almost any merchandising venture, Bucky had answered. We're going to produce a limited number of the dolls and test market them. However, if they're successful, the Dartmouth family could be rich indeed. We're drawing up a contract allowing us to use Mitch's name and Mitch's likeness in return for handsome royalty payments. Mom, Dad, and Linda had gasped at the word payment. Then they looked at me as if I controlled the world. Hoping for failure, rooting for failure, I said okay. I could always pretend that the dolls didn't exist. When I thought about it, And I never had until that moment. There were dolls in stores all over the country, and I hadn't heard of any of them. Dolls are something for babies and little kids. I was safe. But I wasn't safe. I was shocked by the quick manufacture of the dolls. That was a bad sign. It meant that Bucky's company was right on their toes. They had energy and speed, two qualities I don't associate with failure. They also had plans to include me in their sales pitch. Go on my plan to annoy the assistants of the dolls. Bucky contacted my parents to arrange for what she called my first personal appearance with the doll. Since she used the word first, I figured she had second and third and fourth and 140th in mind. She wanted me to show up at our biggest local department store, Gardner's, in the doll section of their toy department. She said that the small ad would be placed in our local newspaper. How small? I asked my mom when she told me the news. Teeny, my mom answered. I wouldn't trust her at this point. This is just a test to see if shoppers would be attracted to see a doll. Bucky warned me that we could be very lonesome standing there in the toy department. How lonesome? I said, hopefully. I'm with Bucky. I'm with him at, oh, okay, I'm gonna do a 5. I'm gonna do a 5. I don't want to. But they so short. Ooh, I think we go. No, that's not what I thought it was. Okay, I'll still do a 5. On Saturday, I put on a Rich Mitch outfit. The blazer, the buckle shoes, all that stuff. And Mom and I went to Gardner's department store. We walked through the store as if we were normal shoppers. No one looked at us. We got to the toy department and no one looked at us. Finally, my mother went up to the salesman and introduced herself as Rich Mitch's mother. This didn't make any impression, so my mother had to explain. Oh, yes, the salesperson said family, in a tired sort of way. She looked at my mom and me as if we was a nuisance. Then she disappeared into the back section and came up with a little sign that said, "Be lucky. Get Rich Mitch. Meet Mitchell Dartmouth, winner of the $250,000 Dazzle Ramen sweepstakes in person today, 10 a.m. through noon. Then get lucky like the real Mitch. Get the Rich Mitch down. Shoppers with poor eyesight are not going to be able to read the sign." Mom said, "The printing is too small." The salesperson shrugged. "I'm Miss Slater. The manager of the department is at a meeting. I only work here. I'll go bring out the dolls. They're in the back." "I smell disaster," Mom said, taking off her scarf as Miss Slater retreated to the back again. Miss Slater came back with 3 dolls. 3 dolls? My mother gasped. "Where are the others?" "Others? I'll go look again." Miss Slater sighed and disappeared. But she came back dragging a carton full of dolls. "I found these," she said. "We have 30 Rich Mitch dolls. Are you happy with 30? Miss Slater dumped the dolls on a large table that already had other kinds of dolls on it. The table was overloaded. Some of the Rich Mitch dolls were standing upright. Some were falling over. Some were between standing and falling. Mom picked up the doll that was flat on his face. "Make yourself comfortable," Miss Slater said, and she went back to her counter. There was no place to make ourselves comfortable. All we could do was stand by the table of dolls and look silly. But Mom was busy standing up dolls. She was worried. "It's almost 10 o'clock. Where are all the people? There should be a line for me." The newspaper ad was much too small, too easy to miss. Mom took off her earring. I'm glad she ain't actually moving clothing at this point right now. She's just panicking a little bit. Earring here, scarf here. At 10:20, Mom and I were still standing by the table, just the two of us, lonesome in a wonderful kind of way. The Rich Mitch doll was big flop, and Mitchell Dartmouth was going to live happily ever after. I was sorry for Mom, but she'll get over it. A woman came up and asked Mom where the ladies' room was. I guess she thought my mom worked for the store. It was worse than if nobody came up at all, because Mom had a moment of hope before the woman opened her mouth. Mom kept arranging the Rich Mitch dolls. She had pushed the other dolls on the table into a heap, after making sure that Miss Slater wasn't looking our way. She placed the Rich Mitch dolls in neat rows of 3s and smoothed all the paper hanging from their wrists. The dolls were really kind of cute. The only thing wrong with them was that they looked so much like me. They really did. And of course, we were dressed alike. Finally, someone noticed the connection. A white-haired lady who was carrying 4 big empty shopping bags picked up a doll from the table. Then she looked at me. "You're dressed like this doll," she said. Mom brightened. She pointed to the little sign. "Meet my son, Rich Mitch, and the Rich Mitch doll." The woman seemed fascinated. "Well, you're the sweepstakes winner, and this doll is you? What are those papers? A bank book, 2 stock certificates?" "Incredible. You certainly are a lucky boy. My grandchildren will love these dolls. If I buy a few, will you autograph them?" Mom answered. "Of course he will." "Do you take MasterCard?" The woman answered. "We don't work here," Mom answered. "Miss Slater over there will take care of your purchases." "Good," said the woman. Then she leaned over to the doll table and with her elbow, she started to sweep Rich Mitch dolls into her shopping bag. How many grandchildren do you have? I asked why the woman kept on sweeping. Dozens. Mom clasped her hands together. She was speechless. I should have bought a suitcase, the woman said as she dragged her full shopping bag over to Miss Slater. I'll be back for the autographs. The grandmother had taken every one of the Rich Mitch dolls. 3 trips for her and her dozens of grandchildren. As soon as the autographs are theirs, I could go home. There she is. A man and 2 women came rushing into the toy department. They were followed by 3 men and 5 women and some kids. Some of the men and women were pointing at the grandmother. The first man kept repeating, there she is. She beat us up, a woman said. She's got all the dolls. It figures. What do you mean, Mom asked. That's Madine Cloverdale over there, the woman answered. She's a doll striper, the bounty hunter of the doll trades. She buys dolls when they first come out, and then she resells them for a bigger profit. But what if no one ever wants them, I asked. Madine sniffs out her future successes. She has instinct for dolls. She knows what's going to hit big, and she hits big. Hey, Madine, I'll give you double for what you pay. Triple, a man said. More people came. We were getting the crowd. A little girl stuck a notebook in my hand. Autograph, please, to Samantha. Mom produced a pen. I signed Mr. Dartmouth. Samantha looked at the autograph. No, write Rich Mitch. I don't want your damn autograph. Little boy, who is you? I want to be lucky and rich like you. Then she touched me. Her hands were sticky. And I was wearing my expensive blazer. I hope my mom wouldn't start to take off her clothes. There is one thing I learned quickly. A crowd produces a bigger crowd. And I learned something else. The Rich Mitch doll appealed to people. They loved it. They said cute. I never seen anything like it. Adorable. Let's get lucky. Oh my goodness. I messed up, y'all. Okay, I can do this. This was all being said while Madine Cloverdale was holding an auction. Who would give me $200 for a Rich Mitch doll? She shouted as she waved the doll in the air. Miss Slater was tugging her. We don't auction in this department. A man who had bought a doll for Madame was holding it high. Who will give me $250? Samantha was going around yelling, get near Mitch. He's lucky. You might catch it. Suddenly, I realized that my mother had disappeared. Then I saw her pushing her way back to me through the crowd. She bent over and whispered in my ear, I'll call the media. What? What I tell you, gold diggers. This is it, Mitchell. We have a nice, civilized little riot over the dolls. Once the newspaper and the TV's picking it up, the Dartmouth family will be very, very rich. I hope that Miss Lana won't spoil everything. She's getting awfully mad. About 15 minutes went by. The crowd got bigger. Some of the shoppers on the outer fringes probably had no idea what was going on. But my mother was fuming. This is a perfect riot. And the media is missing it. Mom took off her other earring and a hair clip. She didn't have a chance to take off anything else. The crowd started to do it for her. They were grabbing at us and our clothes. Catch good luck, a little boy screamed as he tugged at my jacket. Where is the media at this time like this? My mother asked as she unglued the boy's fingers from my jacket. A minute later, 2 women yanked off my jacket and ripped my shirt. Mom turned to me. It's time to leave, Mitchell, she said. Trust your mother's judgment. It's definitely time to leave. You should have been left. How? I asked as someone pulled the gold buckles off my shoes. Just push, Mitchell. Push. We can do it. We pushed. The crowd pushed us back. The media never came, but the police did. 6 officers. I guess Miss Slater called them. Or maybe the store security people did. They hustled Mom and me into the department manager's office as Marjorie Cloverdale yelled, I hear $200. Who will give me $250? One of the policemen looked interested. Mom and I collapsed into chairs. My jacket was gone. My shirt was all ripped. One shoe was missing. Oh, Mitchell, my mom said, do you know how difficult it is to find those golden buckle shoes? You should have kept your eyes on them. I would have went off with my mom's. The manager got 2 blankets from the linen department or somewhere, and Mom and I wrapped them around us. We slouched in our chairs, looking woolly and plaid. Someone bought us tea and hot chocolate from the store's restaurant. The policemen stood around while we sipped. Then they hustled us out of the store. At least we weren't ignored, Mom said. Well, okay, y'all. This book ain't gonna last long because as you can see, I'm doing like 5 chapters a day. So pop that, lock that. I did y'all good. 30-minute video, 5 chapters. What?